Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Charlie Adashe. How have you been? Like I always say, that's probably my favorite question to ask. I hope everyone has been fine. I hope you have been fine. I hope you have been doing well. I hope you have been coping fine. I know things have not been easy all over, but I just hope somehow you've been keeping your head above the water and you're good. um so guys, like you've already seen on the caption, I want to do a video, or rather I'm doing this video on how to deal with the loss of a loved one. um this past 2 weeks it hasn't been the best for me because guys, I lost my grandma over the Easter holiday. I traveled home, and at some point she was in the hospital, and by Easter Sunday she passed on to glory. However, for me it's celebration of life because my grandma died at the age of 80. But no matter what, departing in the flesh, leaving somebody, like parting, basically, it's not easy. And I just thought, I've been having, even before my grandma's passing, I've been wanting to do this video and just talk about how to deal with the loss of a loved one, because I personally have had my own fair share of loss. I've had my own fair share of life. But well, before I start this video, let me give a caveat. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, none of those things. I'm just a girl who has had her own fair share of life. I'm just someone who has had to deal with loss of loved ones, in time past, and how I was able to deal, with the grief, to deal with the loss, and come out of it. So I just felt to share it and probably just encourage somebody out there. Someone may be going through loss, and at this time you don't know what to do, or you don't know where to go. I just hope that this video helps you a little, you find some solace in it, and you're able to help yourself come out of the grief and come out of that pain of losing a loved one. I just hope I'm able to help at the end of this video. And if at the end of this video you love it, please, why not subscribe to my channel? Why not comment? Tell me your own ways of dealing with loss or dealing with grief, so probably I could do follow-up videos and we could help ourselves grow. Like I said, this channel is about helping one another. You help me and I also help you. So guys, so let me give a background story to this. Like I said, I've had my own fair share of loss. I've had to deal with loss of loved ones. I've lost my dad, and I've lost my eldest brother. And just this holiday, like I said, I lost my granny. So I've had to deal with my own share of loss too. I lost my dad in the year 2009, when I felt when I was still kind of young. I was even yet to turn 20. I didn't think at the time I had gotten a hold of direction of life, and I lost my dad, and I thought my world will come crumbling. I thought that was the end of life for me, and honestly it took a while for me to come off it. It took a while for me to get the healing I needed from the loss of my dad, because honestly my dad was everything to me. My dad was everything to us in the family, and just like that, one day he was gone. And so for me, it took years for me to be able to get to that place where I accepted that my dad was gone, and I was never going to see him again. But somehow, like I said, God helped me, and I was able to overcome that phase. And you know, my brother's own too came in the year 2022, and honestly, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but I think it was much better because somehow I was able to, you know, learn from my experience with my dad and that of my grandma. This time around, it was much easier for me, and I was even able to extend, you know, a hand of comfort to family, to talk to people and just help people through this process. So like I said, I hope this video helps. So the first thing I would want to talk about in the process of healing, or in the process of dealing with the loss of a loved one, is to accept, is acceptance. That is accepting how you feel and expressing how you feel. I know we're in a part of the world here in Nigeria where when you lose a loved one's family are there, friends are there, and people are telling you, oh no, you need to be strong, you need to man up, you need to woman up, and you don't cry, you don't express yourself, and they just expect you to be strong. And honestly, from my own experience, that didn't work for me. Like I said, I'm using myself as a case study. I remembered in the year 2009 when I lost my dad. I was in school when they came to pick me up, and they said, oh, you know, your dad's health got a little worse. And sorry guys, I'm feeling a little emotional. I don't know why even up till now I have not gotten over talking about my dad's passing. But yeah, I remember that morning I got picked from school, and I was taken home out that, oh, my dad was still down, and so I should come home. And well, on the way I suspected, I started guessing something had happened. And I remembered getting home and opening the gate, and already his picture, you know, the picture they normally put on the condolence, you know, table with the book, was already there. And I broke down immediately. I started crying. I know I just fell on the ground there. And I remembered women from inside the house running out to me to hold me, to say, oh no, don't cry, Chalia, don't cry, you have to be strong. And everyone was like, don't cry. So I had to like, okay, I will not cry. And I remembered being taken inside the room, and I sat, and people were all around. You don't cry, you have to be strong for your mother. Yes, I understand the part of being strong, most especially maybe for your mother or for your younger ones, but for me, I felt at that time I should be allowed to express how I felt. But that opportunity was never given to me. You know, at any time I just wanted to cry and just relieve myself, because for me, I feel crying has a way of relieving pains. You know, there's a popular adage or saying that the tears have a way of washing the eyes, you know, or cleansing the mind of things. But for me, you know, on the case of my dad, I never got that opportunity. Everywhere I turn it, oh, don't cry, don't cry. If you were sad, why are you sad? Don't worry. You know, people just want you to deny that emotion you feel. People want you to deny that aspect of it. People will come and tell you, in fact, me, I've lost my mother, I've lost my father, and this. See, you can lose your father and your mother, and what you feel may be different from somebody else that has lost his mother or father. It depends on the level. Your own father and mother may just be father and mother, but to me, it's way more than that. It's deeper than that. So never feel cajoled to deny that feeling. If it's that you want to retire and just get some space and be alone to think, I think you should be able to have that when grieving or when trying to deal with the lost one. Whatever emotion, if it is anger, there are times that honestly you feel angry about the loss of someone because you feel, oh, in a way I could have helped, I could have stopped it, but I was not able to. So there are people that the reaction, you know, the way they grieve is by being angry. Whatever it is, feel free to express yourself. And I just also want to speak to people who are quick to want people to deny their emotions and how they feel, to please stop it. If someone wants to cry, honestly, allow the person cry. Like I said, in my own case, till my dad was buried, I remember till the day of the funeral, I was not allowed to cry. Every small thing, oh, you have to be strong for your mother, you have to be strong for your sister. And for me, I kept bottling that pain, I kept bottling all that grief, you know, and I couldn't just do anything. Like, if I had to say any little thing about my dad to someone after that, it was just tears, you know, because I wasn't allowed at the time. I needed to let it out. It was not until, you know, over some time I went back to school and I was alone in my room that day, and you know, thoughts of my dad came, and that day I cried it out. All the cry, I think I cried from morning till evening. All the cry I was supposed to cry at the time of the death, I cried it that day, and that became like the beginning of the healing process for me, because I was able to express how I felt. So please, however it is you feel free to express yourself. Let nobody bottle you up and say, oh no, be a man. Most especially for men, let me say this, our culture is such that they would say, okay, men should be strong, a man should not cry and things like that. And probably this man has lost his mother, who is so dear to him, and you want him to deny or not to express himself, not to cry that he lost his mother. I honestly don't think it's fair. I think people should be allowed to express themselves. And if you're the one going through grief, please express yourself. If you want to cry, cry. If you feel like being alone, be alone. But yes, I'm also not talking of extreme reactions, like probably going to want to jump off a bridge or jump into the lagoon or kill yourself or something. But no, if you want to cry, if you want to talk, if you want to shout, if you just want to lock yourself up and think things through, and you know, yeah, absorb everything happening, please, you shouldn't be denied that. Feel free to do that. That is the beginning of healing for you. So for me, I would say secondly was talking to somebody. um I would liken that to therapy, though in my own case it was not therapy. I did not go to meet a therapist or a psychologist or something, but at some point, and by the way, this didn't just happen like immediately. This took years, probably like 2 3 years after my dad. You know, I had so much in mind, and I couldn't talk to anybody because of, I mean, there were issues surrounding the death of my dad, and I couldn't really express myself to anybody. The person I probably could express myself to was my mother, but going back to talk to her would only mean breaking her the more. So I couldn't even talk to my mother. But like 2 or 3 years, like I said, after that, I was able to meet a friend who, you know, became a safe place for me, a safe space for me. And I remember that evening, I was able to open up and express just how I felt and how all that was going through my head, and how things could have could have been done for me not to lose my dad. and I'm just glad that he was so patient with me. In fact, from evening we spoke up until probably 3 a.m., 3 midnight. We're still outside talking, and you know, he was just listening. Honestly, I would probably say one thing and cry for the next 15 20 minutes, and he was just there for me, honestly, not trying to put words. Yes, of course he was trying to encourage me, but not trying to make me deny how I felt by saying, oh, don't cry, don't cry. He just allowed me be myself and be in my element, and I was able to express myself. And at the end of the day, he was able to encourage me, and also telling me from his own experience, because he too has had his own fair share of loss in life, and how God has helped him so far, and I was encouraged, and that was also part of my healing. And from that moment I realized that I healed better. From that moment I realized I could now start talking about my dad's passing, because prior to that time, honestly, if you come to say, oh Charlie, what happened to your dad, I could not say it. I was in denial. I didn't want to think about it, you know. I didn't want to say it. I was in total denial of everything. But after that point, after being able to talk to somebody, I realized that I could now tell people, you know, oh, this was what happened to my dad and things like that. And that was the beginning of the healing process for me. So yes, I would say please talk to somebody. If you need to go for therapy, if you need to see a psychologist, if you need to see a therapist, please do that. Talk to somebody. Don't just keep things alone, because it helps, it heals. So thirdly, I would say take your time. Take your time to heal. There is no time allocated for being healed, or there's no time to say, okay, this person will be healed. No, take your time. For me, like I said, it took me probably after my dad's passing 3, 4, 5 years before I was healed totally of the pain of, you know, his passing. So there's really no time. So if you don't feel like talking, also please take your time. I know we're also in a part of the world where people want to know what's happening. You know, people will call and say, oh, I heard you lost your dad, I heard you lost your brother. What really happened? They want you to give them the gist, word by word. But honestly, if you don't feel ready for that, please don't. At some point for me, I didn't feel ready for that, most especially with the loss of my brother. At some point I didn't feel ready to talk to anybody about what happened, and so I didn't let anybody force me. So if you don't feel ready to do anything, to talk, then please just take your time. Take your time and heal. Then the fourth one, I would say seek clarity, seek closure. Sometimes the death of a loved one can come with circumstances or issues that are sketchy and are not very, you know, you just don't understand. And sometimes if you really don't understand how these things happen, you may never get your healing. So when you're able to, you know, talk to someone and the healing process starts, and you need to seek clarity concerning the death of a lost one, of a loved one, please feel free to seek clarity. That would give you closure. For me, in my own case, it was like for my dad, like I said, I'll be using myself as a case study. There was something I really needed to find out about my dad, you know, as at the time of his passing. But that was, I don't know how to explain. I really don't want to come openly and say that. Probably on another video I can do that. But for me, I prayed and I kept asking questions, and finally I was able to get the answer I needed, and I got that clarity. And trust me, that came with a level of healing for me. As I got that answer, it was closure for me, and I was able to move on. I was able to say, oh, to God be the glory. I know my dad is resting. I know my dad is with God, and I got that answer. So whatever it is, please seek clarity. If you need to ask questions from family, ask. If you need to ask questions from probably from a hospital, ask, just for you to have that closure and be able to move on. And yes, also from God, if you need to talk to God, say, God, please show me this. I need to know this. God is faithful, and he would always want you to have clarity over things and for you to heal. He's interested in your healing, And trust me, God will make, because for me personally, God revealed that to me. It was not even from a person, you understand? So yeah, like I said, seek clarity concerning the death or the loss of a loved one. It helps with your healing. And lastly, I would say prayers. Pray to God. I'm a Christian and I believe in God. I believe there's a God. I believe in the potency of prayer. And when you pray to God for healing, definitely God will help you to heal. God will help you come through. God will help you come out of your grief, and you'll be able to move on from the passing of a loved one. Um, so for me, I think those are the things I was able to apply that helped me to deal with the passing of loved ones. Like I said, I lost my dad, I lost my brother, and just recently I lost my maternal grandma. But somehow I've been able to deal with these things, and I've not let them put my back to the ground. So I just hope that this video makes sense and I'm able to help you. Whatever it is you're going through, just know that you are not alone. God is with you. Just keep your heads above the water, and one day everything will be over. So if you love my video, if you enjoyed today's video, why don't you go on to subscribe to my channel? Support me, support this girl. Comment, also tell me ways you've dealt with the loss of a loved one in time past. Then also like the video, share this video, and above all, subscribe to the channel. So guys, see you on another video soon. Love you all. Bye.